Hello all, welcome to forceGalaxy. So in this video we'll be sharing one interview with you. This is the experience interview. Okay, so you can take a look, and if you have any questions or any queries, to let me know in the comment section. Okay. So let's discuss about the data security. So let me know what you know in this.
Yeah, so if I talk about the data security, so basically we can control the data like record level security with the help of role.
With the help of?
Role and the OWT setting.
Okay. And so here first comes object settings, right? Object level. So in this, what are the different ways to control this access on object?
So actually you're asking for the data, so I thought that it's related to the record.
No,
so okay. If I talk about the profile, basically with the help of profile we can control the field level security and the object level security.
Yeah.
And we have the permission set as well, and with the help of permission set we can give the extra permission which is not enabled at the profile level.
Yeah.
And if I talk about the role, role, with the help of role we can control the record level security. Okay, and the OWD is also comes in the picture. So in the OWD we having a different things like private, public read, write, public read, write, transfer, and the control by parent.
Okay.
So if
here, what does this mean by public read only?
Public read only, it means suppose we have the lead object and the OWD would be the public read. So if someone is creating on the record on the lead object, so anyone can able to read the record.
Okay, any user can read the records.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So in which case we can hide this, that only the owner can able to see his records?
This can be possible only in the custom object, because the grant access using hierarchy, which is enabled for the automatically enabled for the standard object, which we cannot disable. So like if any of the user create record on the lead object, so the supervisors can able to see, but the subordinates will not able to see.
Okay. So do you heard about this manual sharing button also?
Yes.
So in which condition we can able to see this button?
Make sure the OWD should be private, then only we can do the manual sharing.
Of which object? Of same object, or of it will check for the related objects also?
If it is a related, then it will check. But
suppose account and opportunity are there. Okay, and here account is having OWD public read and write. Okay, and the OWD for opportunity is public read only. So in this condition, will I able to add manual sharing button on account?
No.
No. Okay. Let's suppose there are two users. Okay, and there is an object. On this object we have pick list field, and this pick list field contain three values A, B, C. Okay, so here user A creates a record, and the values in the records in which the value of pick list field is B are only visible to other users. Other than this, no records are visible. So how we can achieve this?
We have three pick lists, right? A, B, C.
Three values are there of one pick list field. A, B, C is the field values. Okay, so where the field value is B, those records are visible to other users only.
Okay. So we can do one thing, like we can do with the help of record type.
Okay.
So with the help of record type, we can control the pick list.
So here I'm not talking about this to control the visibility of pick list field. I just want the records which are created and having the value as B of this pick list field are visible. These records are visible to other users also.
Visible to
other users also.
So you are talking about the
record access.
Field.
Record access.
Record.
Yeah.
Record access, right? Okay, record access. We have two users.
Yeah. So two users are there. User A and user B. Okay. And object is there. On this object, pick list field is there, which contains three values A, B, and C. Okay, so this user A creates 3 records, and all three records have different values. For first record, he has pick list value as A. Okay, for second record,
Okay.
pick list value is B, and for third record, pick list value is C. So here
Okay.
user B is also there, but user B is only able to see the second record where the value is selected as B.
So maybe the case because maybe the case the records with the pick list as B is not shared with that user because the profile is same.
Okay, so what are the possibilities here? We can hide this the records A and C, but not able to hide this B record.
There is a possibility of the sharing rule.
Okay.
Like they are all in the same hierarchy.
If they are in same hierarchy, then I think all the records should be visible. If OWD
No.
is not private.
Yeah, if OWD is not private, correct. No, if the OWD is private and maybe the sharing rule is created for that user, then only he can able to see.
So criteria based sharing,
Yeah.
where the value
Yeah,
is
correct.
SB.
We have two things while creating the sharing rule based on record owner and the criteria.
Okay, so let's suppose there is a object, and in this object we have 5 fields. Total 5 fields
Okay.
are there. So now my requirement is like whenever a user try to create a record, all the 5 fields are visible on the page. Okay. So whenever you click a new button, so a page will open where you will get all the fields. But as soon as
Okay.
the record is saved and again you open the record, the detail page, on the detail page, now I want only 3 fields should be visible.
Okay.
So how we can achieve this? Did you got my question? Any query?
We can do with the help of validation rule.
Okay, so how? What we will do in this?
In this we have to check whether the the record is inserted or not. Once it get inserted, we will hide the 2 fields. So for that we will create a validation rule.
So how we will going to add or remove these 2 fields?
No, we are hiding the fields.
Yeah.
Once it get inserted.
Yes. That is, they will be removed from the page layout.
Yes, that will remove from the page layout only.
So how? Using validation rule, okay, we will check. Yes, record is inserted now.
Validation rule. Actually, I'm not sure. I have not did so far.
So here the question is like this: when you are saving the record at this time, 5 fields are visible, and once this record is saved, then this time the only 3 fields should be visible. Okay, so how we can achieve this? Using a small automation. Okay, so here record type will going to be comes in a picture. Okay, so as soon as your record is saved, you have to change the record type and assign it with the different record type, which is assigned with the page layout of having 3 fields only. Okay, so you can use a flow here. So your flow will going to run as soon as your record is saved. Your flow will run and it will going to change the record type, okay, of this record, and it will assign it with the record type having the page layout with only 3 fields. Okay, so this is how you can achieve this. Okay, no problem. So what are page layouts and record types?
Page layout and record types. Okay, page layout basically means so one profile having a one page layout. And suppose we are working for a bank, so bank is offering the credit card and the debit card, right? So credit card having a different process and the debit card having a different process to get, right? So for that we have to create a 2 different pages, right? So in that case we will create the 2 page layout, we can say the record type, and accordingly we will assign to that profile.
Okay, any use cases for the record types?
Use cases means
what different functionality we will get in this record types, like on the pick list, or we can assign different
Okay.
page layouts.
Record type, basically we can control the pick list and the field.
Okay.
Yeah, so suppose the credit card don't have the account number, but the debit card holder should having the account number, right? So in that case, we have to create the two-page layout with the help of record type, and we have to like assign to the profile according to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many ways are there to make a field mandatory or required on a page layout?
Okay. So while creating, sorry,
Yeah.
field, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So while creating the field, we can enable the checkbox as required,
Okay.
and from the schema builder we can make as required, and from the page layout we can.
Okay. Any other?
No, I know three options.
Validation rule.
From the validation rule, yeah, we can.
Okay. From Apex. From triggers.
Apex we can. From the trigger, I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay. So have you worked on asynchronous Apex also?
Yes.
Okay. What you have done in this?
Asynchronous Apex, basically in my project we have the batch Apex. Okay, so like in the asynchronous Apex we have four things.
Okay.
Four types, sorry.
Why do we use this batch Apex?
Basically batch Apex used to like we can like process up to 50 millions of records. So if we have the record in a bulk, on that case we will use the batch Apex.
Okay.
Yeah. So in asynchronous, basically we have four types. So the future, batch Apex, and the queuable and the schedulable. So if I talk about the future, basically used to make a call out to external web services, and it also used to what we can say, it is also used to handle the next DML errors.
Okay.
Okay, and make sure the method should be the static and the public and global. Okay, and we can pass as a parameter as the we cannot pass the S objects
Okay.
as a parameter. Yeah,
Why we
because
cannot pass
maybe
this?
yeah, because while the method get executed, maybe the chances of changing the object. So that's why we are not passing the S object as a parameter. So we
Okay.
are just passing the primitive.
Is there any workaround to pass the S objects also?
From the future, it's not possible. Yeah,
So can we call future from another future method?
we cannot,
Why?
because both are working asynchronous, so that's why we cannot.
Okay. So but we can call batch from another batch class by as both here also both the work as asynchronous, run as asynchronous.
But actually, the thing here is, suppose you have the 5 methods, right?
Okay.
So it will not execute as you have declared in the class, na. So maybe the case the first will execute, then after fifth will execute. So we cannot.
Okay. So but
Like, we cannot control the order of execution.
okay.
So in the batch, as you can see, we have 3 methods, right? So once the whole process get executed, in the finish method, then only we can execute another batch effects.
Okay. Why not from execute? If I try to go execute, use this execute method to call another batch, so will I get any error or it will run?
Sorry, can you come up again?
Yeah. So here, if I try to call another batch class from execute method, so will it throw any exception or will it execute?
So it means you want to execute from
I want to call batch class from another batch class.
Okay.
So if I call, yeah, if I
from the finish method only we can execute, na.
Why from?
Suppose you have.
Why not from
Suppose
execute?
you have to.
Why not from execute?
No, we cannot like do the execute from the execute.
Any
In the execute, in the execute, basically in the execute we are processing our data na. If you are declaring like you want to try to call the batch from the execute method, definitely you will get the error na.
What type of error?
You will get an error like you cannot call the batch apex from the start and the finish method.
Start and finish method.
Execute method, execute
Mm.
from the finish we can.
Okay, so how many batch we can run simultaneously? Is there any limit?
We can make a queue around five jobs, up to 5 jobs we can.
So if I want to make call out from asynchronous methods of I can make from future methods. Okay, is it possible to make call outs from future methods?
Sorry, can you come up
Is
again?
it possible to make call outs from future methods
Yes, we can.
from scheduler?
From scheduler, yes, we can.
Is there any specific interface we need to implement?
Yes, before making a call out, we have to implement the interface database dot allows call out.
And from batch class?
From the batch class, we can. From the finish.
Okay, from the finish method we can make. Okay, so do you aware about this database dot stateful?
Yes.
Any use case?
So basically, database stateful basically used. Suppose we have a 1,000 records, okay, and the batch size would be the 200.
Okay.
So it will split into the chunks. So around we have 5, right? 5 chunks. So suppose one get executed successfully, 1 to 200, right? So another chunk will start from the count 1.
Okay.
So if you want to count something, or you want to if you want to count how many records get inserted into the database, which is not possible without the help of database.stateful. So to maintain the state between the transactions, we have to use the database.stateful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the what are the best practices we should consider while writing the trigger?
Make sure one trigger per object.
Okay.
And avoid using TML and SQL queries in the for loop, and bulkify the code and use the context variable. Yeah.
Any other?
No need to use the hardcode IDs while writing the trigger. Always use helper.
Okay. Can you write the trigger syntax?
Yeah, sure.
Or you can verbally tell me.
Trigger and the name of the trigger on, and the object on which we are going to create a trigger, and in the bracket we have to pass the event like the before and the after.
Okay.
Based on the requirement. Yeah.
So what is the read-only error in this trigger?
Sorry?
So what is the read-only error in triggers? Did you face this error? Read-only?
Read?
On
No.
after events? No.
Okay, so yeah, actually I have not faced, but there may be the possibility. Suppose you are creating a let's say you are creating a record on the A. On the basis of A, you are going to create a B, right? But the A object having the read-only access, right? And you are going to update. So in that case, we will get the error like read-only.
Okay.
Because you don't have the permission to add it or create something.
So in using, have you also worked on LWC component?
No.
Any idea?
We in the LWC, basically when we create any of the project, the 3 files will get generated. Okay, but in the one we have write HTML, and the second one we have do the methods, JavaScript methods we are writing, and the third one whether we want to expose that component or not. So we are making is is exposed to true or false. Right. And another thing is we can create the CSS file as well, because it's not come with the project, so we can separately add. And we having a different annotation like @wire, like when you want to make a FX call, on that time we have to use the @wire. @track as well we have to use.
Okay, so as we are already having this Aura component, so why there is a need to introduce this LWC component? Any advantages over Aura? How do you pass values from parent to child in Aura components?
Okay, so Aura components. So with the help of events, we can pass the values from child to parent.
Okay, explain more on this. First, we will going to create event, then.
Okay, so first I will go to create event and at the child, suppose we have two components. Okay, so we have to create the component event, and then only we can make a call out from it will fire from the child and it will handled by the parent. So by this way we can at the child side we have to create a component, and and after that we have to create the component for the parent, and from there we have to make a call of the child component, and along with that we have to pass the values which need to be passed.
So where you will going to register this event? In child or in parent?
We are registering the event on the parent, na?
Okay.
Because it will handle by parent
Okay.
and fire by child.
What are system events?
System events. It's a add-on thing. As I know, we have two events like component application.
Okay, what are NQ actions here?
Okay. NQ action basically used to make a call out.
Call out?
Yes.
NQ
Sorry.
actions.
NQ action basically used when you make a server-side call.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the controller we are writing a JavaScript function, right? So at the end we are using $a.NQAction method. So it will basically call the server side. So it will call the FX, and yeah, it's basically used to make a server side call.
Okay, so have you worked on this record form view and record edit form, all this in Aura?
Yes, because we are using record data. So if you don't want to make a server side call, right? So on that case we using the record data. So with the help of record data we can perform the thread operation without making a server side call, and it also take care of the record level security and the other securities which we have. And we have the different things also, record forms. So in the record forms we can perform view, edit the or create, not the delete.
Okay.
And we have record edit forms.
Okay, so let's suppose there is one trigger. Okay. So that trigger will going to run in system mode or in user mode.
Okay. So trigger works in the system mode, not in the user's mode. Okay.
So if I want to make it run as in user mode, so is it possible? If it is possible, how I can?
Don't know. No, I don't know. We are always use handler class. So in the handler class, we will use the with or without share.
Okay, what will happen if I use this with sharing?
With sharing, it will work in the user mode.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It will going to consider object level, field level, and record level access. All three access will going to consider. When we are including this with sharing keyword, only the record level access are included in the Apex classes or the trigger. Okay, so if you want to run it in the user mode, then you have to include you have to check the object level and the field level permissions also. Okay, So you to include these two, you have to add additional things in your code to check the field level and the object level securities, whether this particular user is having access to this user or to this field or not. Okay, then only it will going to run in a user mode. But only including with the with sharing keyword, it will only going to check for the record level access, whether the user is having the access to these records or not. Okay, so hope all the questions are clear in this interview asked. If you still have any queries or any question, do let me know in the comment section. Thank you.